looking to add an investment property in the new year, it could be time to check out Florida's real estate's gold mine with over 80,000 homes available. Joining me now to talk about the benefits and how to get started are Bea and Mackenzie Metz from the Metz Group. Happy New Year, ladies.
Happy New Year. I love the new set.
Yes, I'm loving it too. I can't get over the greenery, and we're all about fresh starts.
Yeah.
And you know, you guys have been with us for just over a year now, and we've seen the ads. You guys are real estate agents not only in Kentucky but also in Florida as well.
Yes, we are. It's because of Mackenzie that I actually ended up getting my real estate license in Florida. Her and my son made the decision to move to Florida, and so Mackenzie was licensed here in Kentucky already and working with us. So when she moved to Florida, I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump on board and got my real estate license down there. We're actually, our license for our Florida license is actually held with a company by the name of Mav Realty. Owner is Mike Hensel, and Mackenzie is actually the VP of sales. So she's over all of the agents, and they have offices all throughout Florida, and I'll let Mackenzie kind of talk about where all they cover and all that.
Yeah. So my grandma and my aunt and a couple of cousins are actually in the Tampa area, and I feel like that's such a booming area. But where does your kind of area cover?
Well, we work the Tampa market. So our market is Tampa, but it's Pinellas County, Hillsborough, all of the areas probably that your family are in. But we do cover substantially the Tampa market, Jacksonville, Orlando, and Sarasota market. So we have a lot of people. Yeah, and it seems to be very booming because a lot of people relocate or they buy their secondary homes there. So yeah, my broker strategically picked those areas for that reason.
Yes. And so I feel like, you know, Florida's economy really welcomes the real estate investors because it's a really wealthy market down there. So what does that mean for buyers?
It actually makes it a competitive market. Of course, we're seeing that nationwide, but I feel like in Florida, it's even more so. Even though they have, you know, like you said, over $80,000 or 80,000 properties available, Florida is one of the wealthiest states, and the economy is growing at like 3.3%. So it is making people want to go there, invest. Maybe if they are going to be retiring in a few years, they'll go ahead and buy that investment property now to be able to, you know, use it through with the Airbnb or some type of short-term rental. So I do feel like it's just one of those markets that really attracts people. The landlord guidelines are a lot less stringent than they are like even here in Kentucky. So that helps people as well. And down there, I think it's just one of those markets that they are used to having those short-term rentals. So you've got property management companies that can really help you stay on board with keeping those in line, all that information in line, and you're in another state and you're not having to worry about it as much.
Yeah, and you know, 80,000 homes. Do you see that as being like quite the boom in that area? Because I feel like the inventory here is fairly low. So would you say that's a pretty high number in that area?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've definitely slowed a little bit with interest rates, but there's still a lot of people that do flock there from everywhere, from Canada, I mean, outside of the U.S., right? So I do still think that overall the market is still going to be higher there. I think statistically it was Florida and Texas were about the same with the amount of people that are going to it. So we're still very consistent with our business. We've slowed a little bit, but it's starting to pick back up again.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are kind of hesitant because of those interest rates. And I feel like my Instagram feed is just flooded with all these different real estate agents saying, well, they might go up again, they might go down again. But do you think people should be like a little fearful at all to jump into the market?
Not really. So I think maybe 2 or 3 shows ago, Claudia and I actually kind of talked about that and talked about interest rates. And I had said I really felt like within the next 6 to 9 months that we're going to continue to see interest rates start going down. Well, literally, we were on that show on Wednesday, and by the end of that week, they actually did come out with a big announcement that the Feds look to lower interest rates like 6 different times before 2025. So, you know, and even since then, we've seen rates already come down almost a point since we had that show with Claudia less than a month ago. So I do feel like what we're hearing and what we're seeing is that rates are going to continue to move down. The thing with that is, though, that because there is such a shortage of inventory, and you hear 80,000 homes in Florida, but honestly, with the amount of people that are being attracted to that market, 80,000 homes isn't really that many.
Right.
So whether it be here or whether it be in Florida, if you're looking to purchase, the best thing that you can consider is going ahead and finding something now where you're maybe not going to be in that huge bidding war market again, and then as rates continue to adjust downward, you can actually look at refinancing, and it does give you a good opportunity to at least go ahead and start thinking about that if that's a thought that's in the back of your head, because appreciation, like here in Florida, is continually going up. Mackenzie and Allen, the first house that they purchased when they moved to Florida, which was only 3 years ago, literally has gone up in price by over $400,000.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Wow.
So
We sold it, so it was very disappointing for us.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So of course, none of us had any inclination that market was going to be that big of an adjustment, but it really is more so in Florida even than in here. So it's a great opportunity to look at making that move.
Yeah.
Or investing.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on today. And if you're interested in getting that process started, all you have to do is go to metsregroup.com.